Okay. First rule of thumb, if you're not 100% certain when identifying wild plants, under general rules, do not eat them. Okay? If you don't know what it is, 100%, don't eat it. Seek your advice with someone else, somebody who's more knowledgeable than you. Find out what it is before you eat it. Now that I've said that, let me say this. Anything in North America that smells like an onion or garlic in North America is edible. That's right, if it smells like an onion or garlic, you can eat it. Now, this is field garlic. Oh, I know some people call it wild chives, some people call it wild onions, but this is field garlic. These are best in the spring from mid-March to mid-April, and the tops are tender, or any time that the new leaves are coming up. So these new leaves down here at the bottom, when they're young and tender, they're really good. Now you can eat them this way. What I like to do is I like to chop them up and use them like chives because they have that oniony kind of flavor for the top, and the bulbs down here have a more garlic flavor to me. That's just my own. So why does it smell like onion? Well, it smells like onion because onions and garlic are related, okay? And it has a sulfur compound inside it that makes it smell like onion, okay? So, well, you know, we call this plant all kinds of different things, but this is field garlic. Grows in clumps, all right? The leaves, pull a leaf off here, are hollow. We've all seen the hollow leaves. Let me come around here and get my magnifier. We've all seen the hollow leaves. We've picked them. We've chewed on them. We've done other things. But wild garlic, unlike wild onion, let's see here, is hollow inside. It's like a tube. You can see down inside there. Okay? If I can hold it steady here. You can see down inside there. Now, field garlic is native to Eurasia, and mammals, such as deer and other animals like that, don't eat this. You know, they don't like it. They avoid this plant. Sometimes cattle eat this, and sheep and goats and other things, and actually this is a big problem because when domestic animals eat this, it flavors their meat and their milk. So dairy farmers don't like this, and some cattle people don't like this because it will, if they eat a bunch of it, flavor the meat, but it will very easily flavor the milk. So it's not a good thing to have on a lot of farms. Field garlic is a bulbous perennial, which means it'll grow for at least 2 years. That's perennials. Comes back. Likes dry places. It doesn't like to grow down in the wet, marshy stuff. It likes it drier. That's why this is up on top of a little hillside. And down below, there's a swampy kind of area down below here where a little bit of stream runs through. And there's none down there. So in the drier areas, this will grow. Down in the wet, it won't. The leaves are green, hairless. They stay green all year round. You can sometimes find this plant in the wintertime. It'll be all knocked over and folded down into the snow, but you may be able to find this plant in the wintertime. So, green, hairless, round, hollow, and attaches way down here at the bottom of the stem, okay? Doesn't attach way up here. That's a different plant. These attach down here. So, they're about 8 to 18 inches high is normal. They can get a little higher, okay? They give off a strong onion or sometimes garlic smell, depending on where they're at and where they grow. They'll have a little bit of a different, depending on how much sulfur's in them, okay? The sulfur compound. Now we'll get to the flowers and the other stuff and the bulblets and how they reproduce and everything later on in one of our other videos when these start blooming. Right now they're not blooming, so we're just going to talk about this part. Now, you can tell it's a wild garlic. People say, "Oh, it's a wild onion." You got it wrong. Well, let me show you. When you dig this plant up, I'm walking around back here behind the camera, so when you dig this plant up, you see these bulbs. See the little bulblets off the bulb? See the little pieces, little stems that come off there? There's one. There's one. Okay. Those are like garlic. That's why this is wild garlic and not wild onion. Very mild in flavor. Very nice. Now I like to use the top part up here like wild chives and green onions and what I cook because of the flavor. And then as it gets down here in this woody part, I don't use this part, this woody part here. Okay, it gets real woody and stiff. You can see it kind of won't bend there. See? And then I use this as a mild garlic. So, kind of a multi-use plant. The ability to be used, quote, somewhat as onions and as garlic. Very multifaceted for a plant. Now, if you eat this wild garlic, every part of the plant can be eaten. You can use the leaves like chives, cook the bulbs, and it tastes more like garlic. The bulbs do. They taste more garlicky than the top part does. So you cook this like chives, use it as garlic, use it as green onions. We'll get to the seeds, the bulblets that come out on top. We'll get to those later, but those can be ground up and used in breads, and they're very nice. So you can eat the whole thing raw. You can pick it like this, clean it off, and munch away just like you would a scallion or an onion, something like that. You can just munch away on these things. So it can't really hurt you. You can go on with that. Now, when added to your diet regularly, it will help reduce blood cholesterol levels. It's been used as a tonic for digestive system, and it helps the circular system. The juice of the plant, so if you take this and you break this off and you get the juice out of here and you squeeze this up and mash it up, you get the juice out of here, you can use this as a insect repellent. Also believed to repel moles, but I don't know anything about that, but it says it can be used to repel moles. It can be rubbed on exposed parts to help repel biting insects and scorpions and other goodies. Now, here is a big problem. I'm going to tell you this. It has to smell like garlic, or it has to smell like onion, okay? Because there are poisonous lookalikes, okay? And you can look up the poisonous lookalikes, and they look somewhat like this. And the flowers are different, and other things are different. But if it does not smell like garlic or onions, don't eat it, okay? Crow poison, the death camas, daffodils, the star of Bethlehem, they all somewhat resemble field garlic. They are not, and they are poisonous. So make sure that whatever you're going to pick and eat smells like garlic or smells like onions. That's the easiest way. So for field garlic, identification, we have long, hollow leaves. We have bulblets on the bottom, bulblets down here on the bottom, where you can see there's two coming off of there already. That's just like an elephant garlic that you'd buy at the store. Get rid of this dirt clod here. You can see the bulblets. I hope I got that in camera. There you go, the bulblets. So, smells like onion till you get down here and you eat this part, and then you'll get a garlic flavor because of the sulfur compounds in it. Now you can find this for references. We can look in Peterson's Field Guide of Eastern Central Wild Plants, which is in my area, on page 114 with a drawing on page 115. Peterson's Field Guide of Eastern Central Medicinal Plants on page 30 with a drawing on page 31. The internet holds a lot of information, but you're going to have to make sure that you get the right plant on the internet. Sometimes they confuse field garlic, wild onion. They confuse these different plants, so you're really going to have to pay attention. So, I hope you give this little plant a try. It is completely edible, 100% edible, and it has very nice flavor. And remember, this comes up in your yards and, waste areas, other things. You're going to have to be careful where you gather wild edibles so that you're not gathering the toxins like off the side of the road or train tracks or dirty creeks or anything like that. So be careful where you gather your wild edibles. But this whole plant is edible and is very good. As I said, I use this part as the garlic, as the wild garlic from what it is, and I like to dry this part and use it as dried chives or use it as fresh greens in salads. It's wonderful. Of course, you can add it to soups, cook with it. There's a million recipes out there. So look for this plant, wild garlic. Next time somebody says, "Oh, I cut all those wild onions in my yard," and you can smell them, you can walk over and pull up a bulb and show them the bulblet and go, "You know what? That's not wild onion. That's wild garlic." So I thank you for watching. We'll figure out what we're going to do next time for our next wild plant. I believe I'm going to visit cattails here, so look for cattails will probably be our next video. Alright, I thank you, and we'll catch you all in the next one.